Saved myself a little grief on the way home. Steve, Julie Becker is also Pam's daughter, not just mine. So I'd hear about that on the way home if nothing else. But I appreciate your thoughts anyway. How many English teachers have we got in here? Any? Any English teachers? No? Jenny, I know you are qualified to teach, but that's all right. Man has often debated who the best poet of all time is. Some say Shakespeare, some say Milton, some say Wilde, some say Angelou, and some say Edgar Allan Poe. As a side note, Edgar Allan Poe is in Pam's family, about great-great-granduncle back. But anyway, besides that, poetry is literature that evokes a concentrative, imaginative awareness or experience a specific emotional response through language chosen. But the best poet seems to be a man of God speaking to his God. To truly speak to our God, we must use our heart, not just our words. David was one such man. Psalm 139 reads, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. You search out my path and my lying down and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether," which to me is phenomenal. "You hem me in behind and before and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain it. Where shall I go from your spirit, and where shall I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make a bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and the light about me be night, even the darkness is not dark to you." Just think how phenomenal that is. Even the darkness is not dark to God, it's light. "The night is bright as the day, for darkness is as light with you. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well." Does your soul know it very well? All that I've read this evening in Psalm 139. Would David have been able to say these things he did if he was just trying to use the right word structure or alliteration or whatever? I don't think so. David's words came from his heart, and some of the most meaningful, loving words ever reduced to writing. Our words should carry the same thoughtfulness and love when we're speaking to our Creator. Don't worry about structure or repeating certain phrases you've heard in other men's prayers. Speak from your heart to our Creator. He will understand any structure you use because He's looking for what you are saying from your heart. And remember, He even knows this before we form the words. The only way to have a meaningful, loving discussion with God in prayer is to have a meaningful, loving relationship with Him. And the way to have that relationship is to become one of His children. So we give, if you are not a child of God, we give you the opportunity tonight to come forward and make the good confession, and the water waits to immerse you in baptism for the remission of your sins. Remember, it's here. It's not necessarily up here, and no matter what you do. So with that, I encourage you to come forward as we stand and sing.